Oi, tudo bem? Aqui é Luciana, da Street Smart Brazil. Our social lives are full of would and could. Would you like to go out for dinner on Friday? Could you help me, please? What would you do in this situation? So that's what I will teach you in this lesson, how to use would and could in Portuguese. You will also be able to answer invitations and say, I'd love to. It's actually really easy to use could and would in Portuguese. To do this, we use a verb tense called the conditional. And the conjugation is pretty easy. So I will show you how to conjugate verbs in the conditional tense, and then I will give you examples with the verbs in action using real life situations. Okay, so let's see the conditional tense conjugation. I think you will be happy with how simple it is. So all you do, you get the infinitive form of a verb and you add the verb endings that I'm going to show you here. So for the eu conjugation, you get the infinitive of the verb and you add ia at the end. For você, ele, and ela, it's the same. You just add ia. For nós, you add íamos. And for vocês, eles, elas, you add iam. So let me show you a verb. So let's see the conjugation of the verb gostar. So if you look at the eu conjugation, I have the infinitive verb gostar, and then I added the verb ending that I showed you just now, ia. So eu gostaria. Now, for the conditional pronunciation, the stressed syllable is always the last one. So the stress of the word is always in this final i that you're adding there. So eu gostaria. Você gostaria. Nós gostaríamos. I'll say this one again. Nós gostaríamos. Vocês gostariam. Vocês gostariam. Easy, right? Just remember that there are several details that you need to know in order to use the verb gostar correctly. I have a lesson that tells you all that you need to know, and I am putting a link to the lesson in the blog description, in the video description, sorry. Let's see another verb, the verb poder, which is an irregular verb, but like I told you for the conditional, it's easy, you use the same rule. So, eu poderia. Você poderia. Nós poderíamos. Vocês poderiam. Okay. There are very, very few exceptions to the rule. Almost all the irregular verbs will fall under the pattern of conjugation that I just showed you, except the verbs that end in zer, like fazer, dizer, trazer. So what you do in this case is you remove the final syllable, the final zer, zer, and then you add the following verb endings. For eu, you add ria. So it's basically the same one as before, but we put in an R before the I. For você, ele, ela, also ria. For nós, riamos. And for vocês, eles, elas, riam. And you will see that the verb, when it's conjugated, actually sounds just like the other regular verbs. So let's do the conjugation of fazer. Eu faria. See, I took the zer out and I added my ending. Eu faria. Você faria. Nós faríamos. Vocês fariam. Okay, now there's a funny thing I want you to know. It's about the verb querer. The conjugation of querer, it means to want. The conjugation in the conditional follows the same rule for any regular verb. So it would be eu quereria. Now it sounds weird, right? It sounds weird. Eu quereria. Você quereria. Nós quereríamos. Vocês quereriam. So, what I wanted to tell you is that in Brazil, we do not use the verb querer in this conjugation. We just don't do. I've never ever used the verb querer in the conditional. And maybe that's why it sounds weird to me, or maybe we Brazilians don't use it because it sounds weird. So we do have an alternative structure to say the same thing. So let me show you. So André asks his friend, o que você faria se o proprietário do seu apartamento fosse desonesto? O que você faria se o proprietário do seu apartamento fosse desonesto? Melissa says, eu ia querer me mudar. Eu ia querer me mudar. So this translates as I was going to want to move out. So instead of I would want to, I was going to want to move out. So in English it might sound a little awkward, but it's actually a great structure to use in Portuguese. And next week I'm going to publish a lesson about this structure. Great, so now let me give you real life examples of how you make requests and answer to invitations in Portuguese. So this is at the restaurant. Gostariam de algo para beber? Gostariam de algo para beber? Poderia trazer 2 águas com gás, com gelo e limão, por favor? Again. Poderia trazer 2 águas com gás, com gelo e limão, por favor? I added this one because it's a nice little line. É pra já. It means right away. É pra já. So in this example, Christina is telling her date. Fique à vontade. Vou fazer um cafezinho pra gente. Fique à vontade. Vou fazer um cafezinho pra gente. Fique à vontade is a great expression. It means make yourself comfortable or make yourself at home. In the blog post, I'm linking this sentence to another lesson I have on the blog. It has 10 colloquial expressions that are very, very popular in Brazil. This is one of them. Okay, so João replies, Joia, obrigado. Também gostaria de um pouco de água, por favor. Joia, obrigado. Também gostaria de um pouco de água, por favor. In this example, João says, Oi, Cris. Eu adoraria te ver. Que tal jantar amanhã? Oi, Cris. Eu adoraria te ver. Que tal jantar amanhã? And Chris answers, Poxa, João, eu adoraria, mas não posso. Amanhã é o aniversário da minha irmã. Again, Poxa, João, eu adoraria, mas não posso. Amanhã é o aniversário da minha irmã. So on the blog, I'm linking the word aniversário to a lesson I have where I teach you how to sing the Brazilian birthday song. One more example, Susana says, Você poderia me dar uma mão com esse relatório? Você poderia me dar uma mão com esse relatório? Her coworker answers, Sinto muito, Susana. Eu ficaria feliz de ajudar você, mas estou sobrecarregada no momento. Sinto muito, Susana. Eu ficaria feliz de ajudar você, mas estou sobrecarregada no momento. This example is at a job interview. The interviewer asks, O que você faria se um cliente fosse grosseiro com você? O que você faria se um cliente fosse grosseiro com você? Eu manteria a calma para resolver o problema do cliente. Eu manteria a calma para resolver o problema do cliente. Great! I hope you have fun using the conditional in Portuguese with your friends. Practice is the key to speaking the language with confidence. Street Smart Brazil teaches Brazilian Portuguese via Skype. The lessons are live using a webcam so you can see the teacher and speak with the teacher in real time. So book a trial lesson with us to advance your Portuguese. Muito obrigada. Tchau, tchau.